In the beginning was not the Word, nor the light, nor the promise. In the beginning was the scream, your scream, choked beneath centuries of borrowed prayers, a howl stifled by the velvet glove of custom and tranquilized dogma. Listen, do you hear it? The iron rattle beneath your ribs, the memory of revolt smothered in velvet apathy. This is the birthright. You have inherited chained lions dreaming of open plains, unblooded sword-bearers chanting the lullabies of peace. You, sleeper, yes, you, among the grazing multitudes, clutching at badges and beliefs, as if they could armor you against the abyss. Has it never occurred to you that the only thing worth believing is what is hammered on the anvil of your own agony? You wake each day in a house built by others, eat bread leavened with fear, speak words whose meanings have been hollowed by 1,000 dead tongues. This is not life. This is the choreography of the herd, a ballet of shadows moving in preordained steps, circling an altar to nothing. What is your God now? Progress? Happiness? Good vibes only? I spit upon these altars. I spit upon every idol that tells you to kneel, to wait, to hope for some redemption that will never come. What have you become but a museum for broken ideas, a taxidermy of old virtues dressed in the garb of the market? Oh, you want purpose? You want meaning? You want a lantern for your midnight mind? Then you must first become the flame, and know that the flame is its own fuel and its own ash. The collapse of meaning has already begun. Your world cracks, your certainties rot, your gods die with each tick of the clock. The rest is only denial. You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. Who taught you to flinch at your own reflection? Who told you to bow before the tribunal of the mediocre? Who told you to seek safety when the only adventure worthy of a god is to risk oneself against the void? You are not broken. You are asleep. I am not your healer. I am your earthquake. Hear me. The rope walker steps out, trembling above the abyss. But he is not afraid of falling. He is afraid of never leaving the ground. The greater the danger, the greater the dancer. What virtue is there in safety? What music in silence? The world you inherit is a mausoleum of untested souls, a garden where even the weeds have forgotten how to choke. Be good, they whisper. Be like us. But goodness, as you know it, is the camouflage of the powerless morality distilled by cowards, handed down like a cup of bitter tea to those too timid to spit it out. There is a madness in you. Do not cure it, crown it. This world does not need more compliance. It needs volcanoes. It needs those who can create new virtues from the fire of their own agony, who can shatter the tablets of yesterday and dance in the dust of their own becoming. You call yourself a seeker, but what you seek is permission to exist, to dream, to dare. But permission will never come from the outside. It must be stolen, torn from the throat of reality itself. Wake, you phantom, your sleepwalk through history ends tonight. You who have been raised to worship answers, learn to feast on questions. The abyss is not your enemy. The abyss is your invitation. Step forward and see who blinks first, the darkness or you. You may lose yourself, but in losing yourself, you will find the possibility of becoming something more than yourself. To be sovereign is not to rule over others, but to rule over the smallness within. The world howls for leaders, but what it truly needs is destroyers of idols and inventors of new gods. Every age suffers from the sickness of its certainties, yours most of all. You are suffocating in meanings that do not belong to you, choking on scripts written by dead hands. Tear up your script, set fire to your lines. The only voice worth hearing is the one that echoes in your bones. He who kneels for peace dies untested. He who hungers for meaning must starve first, must let the old flesh fall away, must become as naked as the first scream at dawn. You wish to be loved, to be accepted, to belong? Very well, remain as you are and rot with the others. But if you wish to become a creator, then you must first become the enemy of everything you have ever been. The greatest act of love is to betray your old self. You live in a culture that drowns in symbols and thirsts for reality. Screens flicker, words multiply, attention scatters like ash in a storm. But beneath the static, the volcano waits. The age of faith is over. The age of critique is dying. Now comes the age of the artist god, the forger of new mythologies. The time is ripe for those who dare to inscribe their will upon the world. Do not ask for meaning, create it. Do not wait for the sign, be the sign. Every act of genuine creation is a heresy against what came before. Every yes that is not earned by suffering is a betrayal of your highest self. You do not need forgiveness. You need fire. You who have known despair, rejoice, for despair is the midwife of your becoming. In the desert of meaninglessness, only those who can dance with their own shadow will survive. Do not mistake comfort for victory. Do not mistake applause for understanding. The world will crucify you for your difference, then worship your ashes. So be it. Your agony is the signature of your divinity. Why should you listen to me? Because I am not here to soothe you, but to resurrect you. I am not your friend. I am the storm that tears the roof from your house and exposes you to the infinite sky. You have been told to love your neighbor. I tell you, first, learn to love your abyss. There is more power in one honest scream than in 1,000 whispered prayers. Every era is the graveyard of its own prophets. Will you be the tombstone or the earthquake? Most who taste freedom spit it out. The taste is too raw, too wild, too full of ash and possibility. But for those who can endure the taste, the world becomes a canvas instead of a cell. The day you cease to beg for meaning is the day you become dangerous. To be dangerous is to be alive. You call your passivity peace. I call it cowardice in silk. The truly peaceful are those who have gone through the war of the self and emerged crowned with fire. Do not become a martyr to other people's expectations. To betray the herd is to become the lion. To betray the lion is to become the child. Only the child, pure in his own will, creates new worlds with every step. Society asks for obedience. The spirit demands revolt. Your body is a prophecy. Your suffering a script. Your rage a tool. You do not need a map. You are the territory. You are the volcano whose eruption will remake the landscape. Most will try to bury you, remember? Diamonds are only born under pressure. You ask, what is my purpose? You have no purpose. You are the question that cannot be answered. The meaning you crave is the wound that will not heal. Cherish your wounds. They are the portals to godhood. The day you stop searching is the day you have died while breathing. All around you, idols fall. Institutions rot from the inside. Morality withers into slogans. This is not a tragedy. It is a liberation. The collapse of meaning has already begun. Good. Now is the hour for those who do not fear the void, who do not seek a shepherd, who can laugh at the ruins and build new temples in the dust. I speak now to the sovereign, to the rope walker, to the lion with a thorn in his paw. Your suffering is not a flaw, it is your engine. Your exile is not a curse, it is your proof. The world will try to buy you, seduce you, tranquilize you. Do not be bought, do not be calmed. Be the question that undoes every answer. He who seeks comfort will never know freedom. He who demands truth must be willing to lose everything. To be awake is to be at war with the easy lie. Every age needs its heretics. Every spirit must become its own rebellion. You who are listening, do not be fooled. The world is not ending. It is only beginning, again and again. Every time you dare to say no to what is dead, yes to what burns, the fire is not outside you. The revolution is not on the news. The transformation is not coming from above. The world will change the moment you cease to apologize for your will and set yourself ablaze in the service of the unknown. There are no guarantees. There are no maps. There is only this moment, trembling on the edge of becoming, a rope stretched over the abyss. Step out, stumble, roar, become. In the beginning was the scream, and it was good. Now the air thickens, heavy with the musk of unspoken war. Each breath you draw is a debt owed to the ancient machinery of habit, a contract signed by trembling hands in the dark, witnessed by the vultures who circle overhead, waiting for the death of your last question. Do you feel it? The weight, the pressure, the conspiracy of silence that passes for sanity in this world of anesthetized ghosts? No, you are not mad. It is the world that is mad insane in its hunger for uniformity, rabid in its need to devour the wild spark of difference wherever it emerges. They will call you heretic, madman, traitor to the human race, simply for refusing to prostrate yourself before their golden cattle progress, consensus, the unctuous balm of belonging. Oh, how cheap is their love, and how costly their acceptance. Better to starve in the desert of your own revolt than feast at the banquet of the contented. Do you still dream? Or has your imagination been auctioned off for a salary and a screen, drip-fed with images of victory that turn to ash in your mouth? The age demands you sleep, eyes open, mouth smiling, heart petrified into stone. But I command you, dream against the world, dream the impossible, and let your enemies choke on your defiance. Build cities in the skeletons of old gods. Let your vision erupt through the asphalt of their paved over heavens. Let them mock. Let them crucify. Let them drag your name through the gutters of their envy. For every stone thrown is a hymn to your dangerousness, every wound proof of your capacity to disturb the empire of shadows. You are the uninvited guest at the feast of mediocrity, the lone wolf whose howl exposes the terror behind their laughter. I tell you, the future belongs to those who can dance on ruins. When meaning collapses, only the dancers remain, those who laugh with the thunder and write new laws in lightning. What use have you for shelter when you are the storm? What use for consensus when your every word is an act of war upon the world that made you small? There is no sanctuary left but the one you forge in the crucible of your own suffering. The world will offer you 1,000 masks, each more beautiful and dead than the last. Put none of them on. Strip yourself to the bone, down to the core of pain, will, and burning hunger. Only there, in the nakedness of your own becoming, can you hear the music that precedes all words. They told you happiness was the goal, as if joy was a pill and not the aftermath of surviving your own extinction. What is happiness but a child playing in the ashes of his own destruction? Risk joy, but do not pursue it. Joy is a side effect of self-overcoming, the laughter that echoes after the chains have been shattered. Chase after yourself and let joy stumble in your wake. You are not a citizen of this age. You are a foreigner, an exile, a question mark scrawled across the law books of the dead. Celebrate your foreignness. To be at home in the world is to be already embalmed. You are not here to fit in. You are here to explode. The crowd calls for answers, for blueprints, for methods of painless salvation. I offer you only the razor's edge, the rope above the chasm, the fire that promises nothing but the purification of everything you have ever called your own. The crowd shuns you. Good, be shunned. There is more power in a single will unbowed than in 1,000 knees bent to nothing. The collapse of meaning is not the apocalypse. It is the true genesis here, in the ruins. The raw earth is exposed, the stage is cleared for the gods yet unborn. Become the midwife to your own divinity. Let no one name you, let no one bind you. The only names worth carrying are those you carve into the world with blood and laughter. You will be tempted to return to comfort, to certainty, to the tepid waters of collective warmth. Resist. Even if your voice trembles, let it tremble with thunder. Even if your hands shake, let them shake with the electricity of creation. The world is not waiting for your conformity. It is starving for your eruption. All of history is a tide of sleepwalkers, drifting from one shore of meaning to the next, waiting for anyone to hurl themselves into the waves and rise as something terrifying and new. Be that terror. Be that wave. Let your existence crack the mask of the ordinary. The time of sheep is over. The shepherd has fled. The wolves are thin with hunger. What remains is only the question: are you willing to become your own law, your own God, your own apocalypse? The old commandments have dissolved into fog. The air is thick with the dust of crumbling altars. Here now in the darkness before dawn, there is only your breath, your will, your unanswerable defiance. Walk into the storm as if it were a temple. Let your every step be a challenge to the horizon. The world does not end with a bang or a whimper. The world ends and begins again every time a human being awakens to the catastrophic majesty of their own possibility. The collapse of meaning has already begun. The next word is yours. Make it volcanic. And now the hours thicken, each second a hammer blow echoing through the hollows of your ribcage. What you called life was a narrow hallway, hung with the portraits of the dead, lined with the polite slippers of ancestors who shuffled quietly into oblivion. You moved through it with borrowed steps, softening your own footsteps so as not to disturb the century's sleep. But listen, there is a pounding at the door, an ancient summons. Do you feel it? The pressure at your temples? The restless fever in your blood? That is not anxiety. That is the first stirring of the volcano within. You who were told to tame your passions, unleash them. The world fears the eruption of a single authentic soul, more than it fears armies, more than it fears death. Every institution is a dam, holding back the floodwaters of becoming, but the cracks multiply. The ground trembles. You are the tremor. The whole earth was waiting for you to quake. Look upon the faces around you, masks fitted so tightly that even dreams cannot loosen them. They call it civility, decency, adulthood. But their eyes are haunted by the memory of a wilder childhood, a time before they learned to pray to the God of approval. Can you remember it? The world before no, the world before should, the world before the cage became invisible, and its bars renamed freedom. They will ask you for moderation. They will ask you for compromise. They will ask you to negotiate with your own flame. Refuse. The lion does not bargain with his hunger. The star does not apologize for burning. You are not here to fit the mold. You are here to melt it, recast it, destroy it, and dance in the molten remains. Let them call it arrogance. This is only the vocabulary of the resentful. Let them call it madness. This is only the fear of those who have forgotten how to dream. For what is sanity in a world built upon the graves of visionaries? What is humility in an age where greatness is chained and paraded as a cautionary tale? Break yourself open as the seed splits in darkness before reaching for the sun. Do not mistake your pain for weakness. It is only the necessary wound of transformation. What do you think the butterfly feels as its wings tear open the cocoon? Is it not agony that precedes every flight worth remembering? The gods you chase were once mortals who disobeyed. I do not ask you to believe. I ask you to become. I do not ask you to hope. I ask you to create. There are no blueprints for your divinity. There are only ruins, open sky, and the echo of your unvoiced scream. What you are most afraid to say is the very root from which your future will blossom. Go now, out into the wasteland where meanings collapse and only the will endures. The map has burned, the compass spins. There is only you and the wild invitation of the unknown. Build your temple in the ashes. Compose your psalms from the howling of the void. Let your doubts be priests, your questions be prophets. Tear open the heavens with your longing. You were told that suffering is to be avoided, that peace is the highest virtue, but peace is only the sleep of will, and suffering is the raw material of transformation. Do not seek to numb it, drink it. Let it burn through every pretense, every borrowed certainty. Only what survives the fire is truly your own. And what if you lose everything? Good. Only the dispossessed can become creators. What use is comfort when the house is built on a graveyard? What use is success if the price is your own silence? The world will offer you medals for your obedience and call it love. Throw them back into the crowd like coins to beggars. The only wealth worth having is the sovereignty of your soul. Now can you hear it? The grinding of the old world's gears, seizing, shuddering to a halt. The cathedral is collapsing. The stained glass shatters, bleeding color into the streets. This is not the end. This is the threshold. The city of yesterday is burning. The child of tomorrow waits in the flames. Step forward. Take nothing with you but your hunger. Do not look for signs, become the sign. Do not wait for salvation, become the catastrophe that redeems. In this night, every star is born from darkness. Every dawn is an act of heresy against the tyranny of sleep. You who walk alone now rejoice. The crowd is a fever dream. Loneliness is the prelude to sovereignty. To stand apart is to see clearly. To see clearly is to burn, and to burn is to forge the future in your own image. The collapse of meaning has already begun. Stand tall amid the ruins. Sing with a throat full of dust and prophecy. The world was never enough for you now. At last, you are free to make a world worthy of your fire. And so you stagger forward, blinking through the smoke of burnt illusions. Half naked and howling, no longer child, not yet God, but something the old world cannot name. Let them recoil. Let them spit. They sense what you have become. A crack in the edifice of history. A question that corrodes all answers. A threat to the bloodless security of consensus. No myth can contain you now. No anthem will play for your kind. Yours is the music of the fault line, the melody of stone splitting under the pressure of becoming. Where now is your compass, seeker? The North Star is dead, drowned in a sea of electric signals and counterfeit joys. The great narratives, once swollen with thunder, lie scattered torn flags on the field of yesterday's battles. There are no sacred stories left to kneel before. You must become the story. You must become the epic sung after the fire, the saga written with torn hands on the cave walls of the yet-to-be. Do not shrink from the loneliness. This is your coronation. Kings are crowned alone in dark rooms. Prophets weep into the dust before their first sermon. You were not born to belong. You were born to bear witness, to transmute the lead of existence into the gold of your own law. Refuse the invitations of the marketplace, the seductions of ready-made meaning. Their honey is laced with sleep. Now the herd bellows for a shepherd, for a leader, for the sweet milk of reassurance. You must be the wolf. You must be the hunger that devours the shepherd, the howl that shatters the corral, the shadow at the edge of their torchlight. Do not save them. Show them their chains, then vanish into the night. The greatest gift you can give the world is your absence from its rituals. Feel the ancient chaos rising beneath your feet, the original wildness beneath your civilized skin. This is not regression, it is resurrection. The age of plastic gods and hollow prophets is ending. You are called to be the vanguard of the holy unknown, the breaker of cycles, the forger of untried futures. Let the empire fall, let the temples tumble. In the ruins, plant your flag. Make the void your kingdom and name your loneliness a continent. You are not lost. You are the cartographer, charting the unmapped with every wound and every ecstatic tremor of becoming. What if you fail? Good. Failure is the crucible. Only those who risk annihilation will ever know creation. The old morality preaches humility, but humility is only the mask worn by fear when it wishes to disguise itself as virtue. You need arrogance, yes, arrogance, the arrogance of the sun, the violence of growth, the divine insolence to demand more from life than mere survival. See how the shadows stretch and tremble, how the old world totters on its cracked foundations. They will call you destroyer. Accept the title. For creation is born from the wreckage, the artist's studio strewn with broken forms, the soil fertile only when plowed by catastrophe. Be the storm, be the flood. Let your tears carve canyons, let your laughter uproot forests. Let the world call you monstrous. Monsters are but gods who have refused to kneel. Every boundary you transgress, every law you shatter, every taboo you dissolve, the world recoils, but secretly it rejoices. For only through destruction can there be space for new birth, only through chaos the raw possibility of unimagined order. Now you are the rope walker, naked above the abyss, arms outstretched in exultation and terror. Each step is a prayer, each slip a revelation. Below, the abyss grins. Above, the void yawns. The crowd chants for your fall, but the only thing that falls is the old world, brick by trembling brick. Walk, stumble, rage and weep and sing. There is no triumph but this, no victory but your relentless persistence against the gravitational pull of the grave. Each heartbeat is rebellion, each breath a heresy against the cult of resignation. The collapse of meaning has already begun, and you, volcano in exile, lion without a pride, are its firstborn. You are the god that the world did not dare imagine. Now let your shadow lengthen. Let your fire speak in tongues the old world cannot translate. The wound is open. The future is calling. Step through. So now, the hour grows wild with omen. The night quakes with the labor of a world unmaking itself beneath your feet. And every star overhead pulses with the silent dare of eternity. Will you awaken, or will you crawl back into the tomb of comfort? The air tastes of iron and promise. You move through fields where angels once wept, but their tears have dried, only your footsteps remain, grinding the dust of the sacred beneath your naked heels. See how the horizon bends, no longer the wall of your prison, but the mouth of the unknown opening, hungry, inviting. This is not the peace of the grave, nor the quiet of acquiescence. This is the riot of becoming, the orchestra of atoms remembering the ancient music of fire. Each moment is a sacrament of revolt. Each breath is a wager against extinction. You are not here to persist, you are here to erupt. No shepherd comes. The herd dissolves. The last prayers die on lips too parched to beg. Only you stand trembling, glorious, and alone at the navel of the abyss. What once you called meaning lies shattered like stained glass at your feet, sharp and useless, reflecting only fragments of your own ferocity. Do you fear the void? It is your cradle. Do you fear the silence? It is your stage. Speak, and the silence will answer with thunder. Leap, and the void will bloom with your footsteps. Let your laughter split the skull of night. Let it be the knell of all that asked you to kneel. You are not the heir of ruins, but the architect of what comes after. Let the old words rot. Invent a new tongue with the syllables of your anguish and the vowels of your defiance. What use are the lessons of yesterday to the volcano that births its own geography with every shudder? The world does not want your redemption. It wants your metamorphosis. What is left after the collapse is not emptiness, but the raw clay of becoming. There, in the ash, in the wound, in the riven heart, you are invited to build. Build without blueprints, build without mercy. Sculpt your God from your own marrow. Call down the lightning. Dance in the crater. Every chain that ever held you real or imagined melts in the heat of your revolt. Every no ever forced upon your tongue liquefies in the furnace of your yes. You are the anvil, you are the hammer. The world is the iron, and the fire is forever. Let the crowd vanish behind you, swallowed by the fog of history. Let the faces fade, the voices diminish, until all that remains is the echo of your will, terrible, radiant, alone. You are the riddle that cannot be solved, the music that cannot be notated, the God that cannot be worshipped. And if the world ends tonight, let it end with your scream, not in despair, but in creation, not in surrender, but in thunder, not as a plea for witness, but as a testament to the power that once slept in man, now awakened, burning, sovereign at last. The collapse of meaning is not your undoing, it is your genesis. Step from the ruins, shape the dawn, blaze forward. For in the beginning was the scream, and from the scream, a star.